Should you buy the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander? Which trim package should you choose? Which engine option is best for you? Not sure if you want to go with the turbo or the hybrid system? Find out the pros and cons of each in this video, guys. So let's jump right into it, everybody. The Grand Highlander comes with 3 different powertrain options: a turbocharged 2.4 liter and 2 2.5 liter hybrid systems. If you want to go turbo, it's going to come with a 2.4 liter turbo engine with 275 horsepower, 310 pound-foot of torque with a combined fuel mileage of 24 miles to the gallon. If you want to go hybrid, the first available option is in the XLE hybrid as well as the limited hybrid. The first hybrid option is a 2.5 liter engine with 243 horsepower and 186 pound-foot of torque. It is a 1.3 kilowatt per hour battery with 259.2 volts comprised of 216 cells with a fuel economy of about 24 miles to the gallon, which is the exact same as the turbo engine. And the third engine option is a 2.4 liter turbo hybrid engine with 362 horsepower and 400 pound-foot of torque. It's got a 1.4 kilowatt per hour battery, 288 volts, and 240 cells with a combined fuel economy of 27 miles to the gallon. And it is only available in the Platinum trim, which is the top of the line trim available for the Grand Highlander. So these Toyota batteries are made with a compound called nickel metal hydride. And Toyota has used the same compound for all of their hybrid systems, and they've been known to last over 2 decades. So it's super reliable. And now let's jump into transmissions. You have 2 transmission options. In this turbocharged engine, you have an 8-speed Aisin transmission, as well as in the hybrid, you have a 6-speed eCVT transmission. Oh no, really? A CVT? Which is the same transmission that you'll find in most of Toyota's hybrid lineup, such as the hybrid RAV4, the hybrid Highlander, and the hybrid Toyota Sienna. Oh, I can't buy that. Oh, sure you can, because this eCVT transmission is unlike other CVT transmissions. Yes, I get it. CVTs have a bad rap. However, this is a Toyota CVT, a Toyota eCVT, and this has been used in all of the hybrid powertrains that Toyota has released over the last 2 decades, and there has never really been any significant problem that you'll find. And when doing some research, I can't find anything that has come up yet as indiscrepancies to do with the engine quality. The only real difference is that the fuel injectors are on the top of the engine versus on the side, so you may experience slightly increased maintenance costs way down the line. All right, next up, which trim package should you choose? Do you want the XLE? Do you want the XLE hybrid? Do you want the limited hybrid, or the Platinum Hybrid Max, which is the top of the line? So let's check out the details of each. Well, to start, let's just go over the size, because all of the size across all the trims will be the exact same. It's 6.4 inches longer, 2.4 inches higher, and 2.3 inches wider than the standard Highlander. If you have the XLE versus the XLE hybrid, they're going to be the same cars, except the transmission and the powertrain will be different in the hybrid model. As well as in the limited, you're going to have more color options for seats, you're going to have heated and cooled seats, and just different creature comforts, as well as the Platinum Max, which will have all of the trim packages and all of the different leather and interior options available, as well as different exterior styling, LED headlights, stuff like that, and much nicer alloy rims. So obviously you have the big huge grille here in the front like all of the Grand Highlanders. You have just standard headlights here, whereas in the limited or the Platinum Max you're going to have LEDs. You have no fog lights here, but in the limited and the hybrid Max you will have fog lights. You'll also have parking sensors throughout the front and the rear as well in the limited and the Platinum Max. You got 18-inch alloy rims. You got turning indicators on the mirrors. You got keyless lock and unlock, keyless entry for the front and the rear doors as well. Then you come around back here, you got the power lift gate. We'll open it up here. So, and then we click this here to close it once, or we can click this if we want it to close and lock. Very nice. Let's hop inside. As you see, you got this really nice door card here, nice little accent here on the XLE that's followed throughout the interior. You have these nice high quality plush leather seats. You have power, driver and passenger front seats, and just a very nicely finished interior. It's amazing. You have this big thumping 12.3-inch digital display here. You have a very firm shifter knob, and your steering wheel is styled perfectly. You can tell that this is a new model because in the previous generations they just look a little bit older, and you can tell Toyota really stepped up their game on this one, especially this Grand Highlander here. You don't have as much cheap plastics. So you have automatic high beams on, you have a heated steering wheel, you have your power tailgate open, and over here you got your typical instrument cluster controls, your call button, voice command. Over here you have your cruise control options. And the cruise control options are super cool because you can set the distance not only with the car in front of you, but also you can, as you set the distance, when it senses the car that's coming or you're approaching a little bit too quickly, the brakes will automatically apply and stop you. So you notice here, if I'm driving, doing cruise control, and I get into another lane here, it will automatically brake for me if the vehicle in front of me had me slowing down. So you pretty much don't even have to brake if you don't want to. That said, I would take that very carefully because that is definitely some new technology here in the Grand Highlander. We have our heated seats here on the XLE. If you have the Limited or the Platinum, you're going to have heated and cooled seats. You'll also have your parking sensors options here in the Platinum Max as well as the Limited. You have 7 USB-Cs throughout the car, 3 in the front, 1, 2, 3 over there. Now I'm just going to show you something quick here. So this little button over here is your heated wipers button. The wipers here actually fit in underneath the hood a little bit. So in the winter, when they're frozen and they're sticking to your windshield, you're not actually going to be able to pull them up to be able to leave them up overnight so they don't get frosty. They're going to get frosty regardless. So you have to basically come in here a little bit early and just click that button, turn it on for 1 to 3 minutes, and that should heat up the wipers so that they become free. And in your climate control here, if you fiddle around with this, it's going to operate the front climate here. If you want to handle the rear climate, you want to take control of the people in the back, make sure they're comfortable, you just click this button here, rear. That'll turn on the rear climate control settings, and then you click rear climate, and then you can control what's coming out of the vents in the back. So that's really nice. And then you can just click that off, and then you're back controlling the front climate. Another thing to note on this XLE, if you look up here, there is no moonroof. You can spec one on an XLE, and it's just shy of a $2,000 option. So let's take a look at the instrument cluster and the satellite navigation screen. So here in the middle, you have a digital display in the middle, and you just have a typical gas and a heat gauge on the right and left, kind of plain Jane. In the Limited or the Platinum trim, you're going to have a full digital display, and it's really, really handy, really nice. And over here on the 12.3-inch infotainment screen, you have Apple CarPlay currently. It's a wireless Apple CarPlay. Some of the other manufacturers have a wired connection, such as the Ford Explorer, and it's pretty dated. So either way, for the sake of this video, all of the Grand Highlanders will come with wireless Apple CarPlay. If you want to get back to your Toyota settings, just over here to click Toyota, and it'll bring you back here to Drive Connect. I've had this car for 8 months. I still haven't signed up. This comes with an $8 to $12 fee, depending on where you are in North America, whether you're in Canada or the US. Other than that, though, you got your CarPlay, you got your navigation through Drive Connect, you got your music options here, you have your phone options here. If you click phone, it'll actually take you back to CarPlay, so it's pretty interesting. We'll go back to Toyota here, and then you have your different vehicle options, and you have your settings. And before we hop into the back, we have these different drive mode options. So you have auto start, stop off, traction control off, you have eco sport, normal, mud and sand, rock and dirt, and snow mode. And you also have hill descent mode to help you brake automatically when you're going down the hill. You also have your parking brake here. It's a powered parking brake here, and you have your brake hold button as well. And then in the middle console here, you have a little storage here for maybe some business cards. And if you lift this back, you have a nice, decent storage for all kinds of stuff. Quite deep, actually. It can fit almost down to my elbow. It's really nice, and it just kind of slides away, opens really nicely. And if we hop into the back here, you can see we have plenty of room, lots of leg room, lots of space. It's a much bigger space than a typical Highlander, or especially a RAV4. You also have these manual sunshades. You can just kind of lift them up, put them down, put them back. They're very, very handy. Obviously power locks, power windows, and you have a nice big cup holder down there, nice big storage space over here. You have a 12 volt and your climate control options over here, and 1, 2 USB-Cs. And up above here we have our mid climate control. You have your dome lights, and you got a HS handle. Now whether you choose the Limited or the Platinum Max trim, only thing that's going to really be different in these back seats, as well as the third row, is that you'll have different leather options as well as some heated rear seats. And in the back, in between the I and the G, click the button once and the power tailgate will open. Now, with the rear seats down, you actually have 97.5 cubic feet of space, and with the 7th seat, the third row up, you have 20.6 cubic feet of space. So now to get these up, they got these rope thingies here. Just give her a tug and she's up. The other one also has a rope. Give that one a tug and it's up. You can adjust the recline or the decline by pulling the little lever here, make it kind of the same. And you can see if you have these third row up, you have just about as much, maybe a little bit less space than you'd have in a car of the RAV4's size. So you have quite a lot of space back here. Now let's get in, let's hop in the third row and see how comfortable it is. If you have the limited or the platinum trim, the difference is instead of having to pull these levers up, you're gonna have power third row seats, as well as the option where you can put the foot underneath the car and close this tailgate down. But for this, you're stuck just hitting this button right here. Closes fairly quickly. Also note that it is very quiet inside when you're closing that rear tailgate. When I have my kid in the back seat, she's like 6-7 months old basically. When this thing closes, it is super, super quiet. Even if she's asleep, it won't wake her up. But when we had a Ford Explorer 2024 for a little bit there, it had a power tailgate. When that thing closed, it was super loud and it woke her right up crying. So just something kind of cool about how they engineered this. They engineered it very well. Now to get into the third row here, you have different options. You can pull this toggle here to bring the top seat down just a bit. You can click this one here to bring it right down, which won't happen because I have a baby seat here. And you can use this here to pull it forward and backwards. So I'm gonna pull this down a little bit and I'm gonna hop into the back. Let's see how easy it is to get back there. So I can't get it forward too much. So if you have a baby seat in your car, you're going to have to cram back there. But note, if you don't have a baby seat in this second row, it is very, very easy to get back into this back seat. Super easy. This will move all the way forward and you have basically about a foot, maybe a little bit more than a foot of space to hop back there. And even with this small gap, I'm still gonna hop back here fairly easily. So here I am in the back seat and there's a lot of good creature comforts back here. So let's hop right into it. And back here you have 3 cup holders, a slot for an iPad, slot for a phone, a USB-C, and some third row climate control. And let's just note, you have a healthy amount of legroom here as well. So it's super good. And in all of the trim packages, it's all gonna have the exact same spacing. You're just gonna have much more nice looking interior basically. It's gonna look more fancy. So as you can see guys, there's so much about this car that makes it amazing. So let's go over the price and the biggest thing, the fuel economy differences between the 3 engines. Here in Canada, these cars go between $55,000 and $70,000 between the XLE and the Platinum Max trim. But the biggest thing is going to be the fuel economy and the minor difference between each. The posted fuel economy for the XLE is between 24 and 27 miles to the gallon. The fuel economy for the 2.5 hybrid is between 25 and 27 miles to the gallon. The fuel economy for the Hybrid Max is about between 27 and 35 miles to the gallon. But overall, the numbers are going to be similar. So can you justify paying an extra 10-15 grand for the Platinum Max just for the fuel economy? Or do you really just want the more stylish interior and the stylish exterior? You want the parking sensors in the front and the rear, heated, cooled seats, and all of these different options, full digital display, things of that nature. If you want something like that, you might have to go for the Platinum Max. And if you made it this far in this video, you might as well smash that subscribe button for me because it costs nothing and you're going to see some really cool videos coming up of all different kind of cars. The Grand Highlander and all the way up to some really cool supercars. So it's going to be great. So stay tuned for that. And it is just an incredible deal no matter which trim package you go for. It looks amazing. And I've had this thing for a while and I've got nothing but good things to say. That being said, guys, that concludes this video. If you guys ain't got any questions, or if you guys want to see some other stuff about the Grand Highlander, or you want to know what it's like to live with this car, then shoot me a message, shoot me a comment. And if you like this video, smash that like button for me because it means a lot and I can grow this channel and we can create some really cool content. So that being said, guys, take care, have a good week, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.